We're live.
Nice and fast.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving. New background.
to both you, yes, and everybody, everyone listening. New background. Yeah, I'm down in Southern California again, kind of just outside of LA at my
Okay.
girlfriend's parents' place, like I usually am each year that we do this, and we do this episode. So this will be a familiar background if you watched the show last year. No John this week. We were supposed to have John, and then he had like last minute plans and dinners and company, so he got busy.
Yep.
But it's just been a probably pretty usual Wednesday, Thursday for you, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. It is not Thanksgiving here, so nothing
Right.
changed.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. We finally got rain yesterday, which made the air
Oh,
actually breathable for like the
yeah.
first time in like 2 weeks or whatever.
I bet it felt good. Like for the first time you could breathe
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, you could go outside and not start like choking. For those who maybe missed the last show where I talked about this, we were for a day or two there the worst place to breathe on the planet in Northern California, the Bay Area specifically.
Yeah.
But no smoke down here. Um, but I will say Californians cannot drive when it rains because it rained a bunch. And not only did I have to drive through Thanksgiving traffic because tons of people go down to LA, to the LA area on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, um, but it was also pouring and everyone was real slow. So that took, I want to say, like, for me leaving my apartment, like 9 hours when Google, when you
Oh,
first type it in, says like five and a half,
gross.
six,
Like
maybe.
double the time almost.
Almost double. Yeah, that was a.
At least 1.5 if it's roughly 6 hours.
Yep. Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
roughly six, probably closer to that for sure.
Gross.
So what's new with you? What have you been doing the last week since we spoke?
It's been
What's
siege.
new?
Like, well,
Oh
I'll
wow,
talk
okay.
about it more when we go into like what
Yeah,
I've been
yeah. No, I
playing.
want to just know like more general. What's going on with you in the last week, man?
It's been I'm just waiting for some paperwork stuff. I've been dealing with the Canadian government, so it's
Ooh,
been fun, but a lot of waiting, as I'm sure
sure.
you
Okay.
know. Yeah,
Yep. Yep. I don't know exactly your scenario, but good luck. I
yeah,
can just say working with governments is annoying and
it's the
and
worst.
takes forever.
Absolutely. But
That's for sure.
and yeah, I'll talk about when we get into what we've been playing because that's all I've been doing. But that's pretty much all I've been doing as well. I was excited to hear more about what this dinner was that John got sprung on him last minute because sounds like it might have been a big deal celebrating Thanksgiving dinner here in Canada or
What I
something.
don't know. I don't think he ever mentioned it was Thanksgiving related, but
Mm-mm.
maybe he just I don't know. Maybe, I'm assuming his a bunch of friends just wanted to have a dinner or something like that. Maybe he has like more American friends. Reese is American, right?
She is, yeah.
So maybe she wanted to do like a friendsgiving kind of thing. Because
Could
I
be.
do a friendsgiving when Canadian Thanksgiving comes around, down
Here.
here.
Yeah,
So
there,
maybe they
yeah.
wanted to do something similar.
Sure. Could be.
But yeah, so I just finished Thanksgiving dinner. It was
What did you
great.
have?
Turkey.
Yep.
Um,
Ham.
let's see. No ham.
Okay.
But we had a turkey. We had a vegan turkey,
That
like a
weird
tofu turkey, I
marshmallow
guess.
thing.
Yeah, we had actually there was less marshmallows than usual this year, but there
Okay.
was still marshmallows and Jello.
Uh-huh.
Then there was just like creamed corn, tons of fruit, which I was pretty into.
Oh,
Um, there was the new one this year was a chili, like hot chilies, not bean chili, a
okay.
chili casserole,
Okay.
which I was just super good. It was just basically eggs, cheese, and chilies, pretty much just like an omelet, I guess.
Interesting.
I was into that, yeah. And then sweet potatoes, which I like sweet potatoes quite a bit. So it was a good time. And then we just spent the last like almost 3 hours playing Jackbox,
Okay. Yep.
which was a good time. Um,
Which
I'll,
one?
I was we played Jackbox one because we wanted some trivia, and that one has the her family didn't doesn't have five. The brother was hooking up his computer. They didn't have the
Gotcha.
new one five, so they didn't have you don't know Jack, the latest one. But he had one through three, and I was like, oh, let's do one because it has you don't know Jack 2015.
Yeah.
So we did that. I had forgotten about Trivia Murder Party, which I think they're going to be playing soon. I ducked out afterwards. I think we ended up playing 6 games. My girlfriend won every single game we played by a huge margin. It was ridiculous. But just, man, You Don't Know Jack is so good. And going back to that 2015 one, like, it just wants me to like break out my copy of Jackbox 1 and play some more of that. But we'll get into more of that later. Let's do the formalities. This is the top-down perspective for November 22nd, 2018. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
And again, John's not here. He should be here next week. If my audio, again, is weird, it's because I have a different setup, if that's not evident for the audio listeners.
Right.
But, okay, yeah, so you already mentioned it a bit. What have you been playing? It sounds like Siege.
Yeah, the new operators and the new map are out on the test server. So I've been playing a shitload of it, basically.
Okay. Last we spoke, you weren't sure what the new attacker can do?
No, I knew I knew an idea. We had an idea as the community what she did.
Based on like a trailer.
But we weren't 100% sure. So yeah, it is, her name is Nomad, and it is like an attachment kind of like Buck's shotgun that you switch to part of your main rifle or whatever. And then it shoots a little like explosive device that just explodes into a giant gush of air to knock down anything that's in the area. Like knock down people in the area. So what this is really good for, we found, is that if there's certain maps where there's somebody just in that tight corner that you just can't get a shot at because they're like perfectly wedged in there, you just use that thing like a couple times as you're rushing them, and that guy just can't move because he can't shoot or get his gun ready while knocked down. So you just...
So is it deployed like a
Ashes? A shot. Yes.
Like a shot? Okay, so it's not like a grenade. You're not lobbing something.
No, you're shooting it.
Does it like pierce into a wall and then expand, or does it? How does that work? Does it just like push as it's moving forward?
Oh yeah, no, it explodes almost like Ash's charge, but there isn't like a charge time on it. It's like when it makes contact with like a wall or ground, it'll puff, essentially.
Puff in every direction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So theoretically, if you're looking at like the person's behind a wall, or like a shield or something, maybe like a deployable shield, you can shoot like just beside it to the wall that's behind them to kind of knock them out from behind the deployable shield. You
would just shoot it above the shield, and because it doesn't really shoot them forward, it knocks them down on their ass, basically.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would shoot it once as you're rushing them, and then they're down for a second. Then you shoot another one so that they're still down, and then by that time you should be able to knife them or shoot them.
Right. So it doesn't actually move them at all. It just knocks them down.
It knocks them down, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. And it can be used on friendlies and herself as well, as in like if you shoot it at somebody while you're rushing them and you are in the area of effect, you will get knocked down and it'll look funny because two people will just be knocked down rushing to get their gun, basically.
Yeah. So do you like her? Do you like this Nomad?
So... She is hilarious, first of all, because it's really fun seeing people fall down a bunch of times and they get knifed.
Right. Yeah.
There's no way that she's gonna, like... She's an instant ban in Pro League because she's too strong at the way it is. Not
at the moment. Okay.
Because defenders that get hit with her thing, you just can't do anything about it. You are fucked. Like, you are a sitting duck for like a good 3 seconds.
So she has to get nerfed a bit right now.
Maybe nerfed a bit, but like she's definitely just going to be a ban. Like she's an instant ban in Pro League people, for Pro League people, because nobody's going to want to play against that shit, which makes her fun. So
well, I mean, people just need to come up with strategies against it.
Yeah, they will too. I think some things so far people have found is that her deployment thing, like her special ability doesn't work through walls, because why would it? Like the wall would obviously like take the gust of air and not hurt you behind it. So like she has like things I'm sure you could play around, but as of right now it's just been people like throwing each other on the ground over and over, and it's been kind of hilarious. I'm sure it'll work out in the wash.
What happens if you shoot it at a shield? Does it do anything?
As far as I can tell, the shield will shield you from the air blast, so people just have been shooting beside it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will it still go off though? Like, if will
Yeah,
it hit the shield and then cause the blast? But I just won't get
around
hurt.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
All
it
right.
doesn't
Cool.
do any damage at all. It is
Right.
just
Yeah,
to, get people knocked down. And then the opposing defender is Kaid, and his thing is a little better than we had originally thought. Yes, you can basically bandit or electrify the, like, top, the, like, roof hatches that you can reinforce
When you
now.
reinforce, yeah.
But what it actually is, it's like an area of effect thing. So you can actually just, like, if there's two walls that are close to each other and they both have reinforcements on it, and you put, like, right in between them his gadget, it'll electrify both walls at the same time. So he's actually just a better bandit, is what he is.
Interesting. Well, then why would anyone play as bandit?
So with Bandit's thing is quicker. Like, Bandit putting his thing on can electrify thermites before they go off and stuff. Kaid's thing takes like a good couple second charge up before it goes off. So like the pro strats will still run Bandit because first of all they like his gun, but more importantly they can get the electrical down like in a pinch. As soon as they hear somebody setting up, they can like put their thing down and then destroy their gadgets and whatnot, and you can't do that with this guy. This guy is very much like you set up at the beginning and that's just where it is from now on. You're not going to be
can
sneaky
Bandit
with
move
this
his thing around?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I definitely just
Yeah.
set it up and was like, well, that's that.
Yeah. So you might like this guy better because he is that's that kind of guy, and if you like position his thing properly, like a lot of people have also been electrifying a whole bunch of like a couple walls and the what is it called, the like razor wire by throwing his going underneath and throwing it on the roof, so like it's all electrified and nobody can see where the actual electricity source is because it's not in the like objective room, it's underneath it and stuff. So like there's cool things you can do to set up, but he is very much a setup person. And his one gun is okay. They both have this Magnum as their secondary with a scope on it, and it's like super fun. It's just a really it's funner than their main gun to use that thing because it does like 50 damage per hit and it has like a scope. So it's just dope. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And the new map is fun. It's a Moroccan fortress themed thing, and
is it big?
Yeah, it's pretty big. I
prefer smaller stages myself.
I guess the like big thing about it is that there's a lot of like terraces that you can like have kind of a roof that you can stand on. You don't have to rappel as much. There's a lot of like being able to go to the second floor off of a staircase and then breach from there, and even the third floor. So I guess that's like the big thing, but otherwise it's pretty much what you would expect from one of these maps. It's convoluted in its own way that wouldn't make sense for a real architect to make because it's for a video game, but other than that, it's neat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always a fan of the smaller stages. Even like what was the last stage that they put out? It was in like the favelas, kind of.
Villa?
No, not Villa. Like, what was the stage that came with the last two characters with the Shield Girl and?
Oh my god!
You know, like the South American kind of looking one, right?
Yeah, with oh my god,
what's her name? It's got that one section
Clash and
where
Maverick.
Yeah, it's got that one section where there's like a really tiny room at the top that you have to defend. Anyway, I always liked when we had to defend or attack that one tiny room in like the middle of the map at the top.
Right, they didn't get a map. They got a redesign of an old map, Hereford Base.
Okay, then they must have just like put in this map on its own or something, because it came in with some update. I don't know. Anyway, not a big deal.
Sure.
You been playing anything else?
Uh, I've been playing more of that Konami P-Cross game. I'm at about 70
Okay.
something percent, and
Wow. All right. And it's free, right? You've put no money
yeah,
into this?
not a single penny. Yeah,
Nice. Very cool.
there's so many
That's good.
puzzles, and like a
That's
lot of them
good.
are useless, but like who cares?
It's
It's
just more
about the
P-Cross.
yeah, exactly. But
I mean, at some point, you will have done like every combination of P-Cross puzzles there could be, but they're
yeah,
just making it a different picture and you forgot, so who even cares at this point?
that's exactly right. Oh, Warframe. Warframe came out on the Switch, so I booted that up and tried a bit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was out already.
Yeah. I was bummed out that I didn't have the stuff that I had because it doesn't use the same account.
Oh, weird. That's got to be coming though, right?
So here's the thing: you can migrate your PC one to the Switch, but then that's it. And I don't want that. I want my PC account. So
Weird. Is there any kind of crossplay, or are you only playing with Switch owners?
only Switch owners, from what I can tell. I stopped playing it though, and just started playing the PC version because that's where my stuff is basically.
Right.
And
Okay.
I don't want to migrate it. So I guess like I was going to put this in news, but it wasn't really news. I just give people a warning now. If you're into Warframe, you can do the migration, but as far as I can tell and as far as people are saying, it is a one-way migration from PC to Switch. So just be sure that that's what you want. Just as a
That
heads
feels
up.
like something that they will
Fix at
address
some point.
later.
Yeah.
Like give it like 3 or 4 months, and it's like, hey, it is now cross-platform. It is cross everything. You can use your account. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen it on Fortnite. It's got to be coming.
I mean, it's because like the reason I'm baffled that it isn't there already is because you have to sign into their own proprietary thing. Like it's not like my Steam account, right? Steam hooks
Well,
into
you
their
have to
thing.
do that with Fortnite as well. You sign into your
Yeah.
Epic account.
Yeah, exactly. Like there should be no reason why that stuff can't transfer
Oh,
over.
right. They were probably just like all hands on deck,
I
making
would
the
think
Switch
so.
version work.
Yeah,
That it's like, it's on the roadmap or whatever.
they're
Although
not
I
a
would,
huge studio, so
are they not? I was just about to say I would assume that they are because Warframe is pretty big, isn't it?
uh it was bigger, but like it's not bad for a free to play market. It's definitely no Fortnite. They're probably mid tier, I would say.
Well, I mean, nothing is Fortnite.
Nothing is Fortnite. Yeah. They're about mid tier.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably like check it out just to give it a try because having playing stuff like that on the Switch is cool. I tried Paladins on the Switch. That was fun.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's all I've been doing.
Okay, I've been dipping my toes in a few different things. I played some Hitman 2. Actually, I beat Hitman 2.
Okay.
Um,
So you finished the like main objectives or whatever. The main story.
yeah, so
objective.
there's 5 maps,
Yeah.
plus I guess a tutorial map. So there's like 5.5 maps.
Sure.
Um, discounting the tutorial. The first 3 maps I played like 2 or 3 times because as soon as you finish them, they're like, "Hey, why don't you give it a try again?" Like it's the whole idea is you want to play them again,
Yeah.
which definitely stems from the episodic model of the previous game, where it's like this is all you have for the next like month or two. You might want to play it again. You spent money on this pack.
Well, they do the challenge mode thing too, and that's been a thing. Like kill this guy using this suit and this weapon and stuff. And there's also online communities where you can like download randomizers for that stuff too. For people
Sure,
that
yeah. No, there's
go
tons of
crazy.
challenges.
Yeah.
I basically just kind of stuck with following the story missions because
Sure.
I enjoyed that. They usually set me up for a pretty goofy way, or whatever, a pretty fun thing to do.
Sure.
So for the first 2 maps, I did those like 2 or 3 times, getting 6 to 9 assassinations depending on how many targets there were. And then the last 2 maps, I only played through once. Specifically, the second last map, I wasn't a huge fan of. It's just kind of like a neighborhood. And I kind of wanted to just kind of get through the game to see it all, and I was like, I can come back later. I don't know. I don't think I am.
Okay.
But also that second last map, it's there's 2 targets you have to kill, and then you need to like collect 3 things of evidence and like analyze the evidence. So it's just kind of like a lot of repeating stuff. Even if I do the assassinations in a different way to finish the map, I need to do all this other nonsense, and it's like that. I just kind of don't want to.
Sure.
The last map is real cool. There's a slight spoilers, not really. There's a random character in there. He's an archaeologist, and his name is Blake Nathaniel, and he's voiced by Nolan North.
Okay.
Because it's Nathan Drake, right?
Right, yeah.
And that was just like, this is delightful. Like, this is because I'm hanging around this character, I'm stalking him, and I'm like, is that Nolan North? And it's like, oh, it totally is. And it's like, wait, what was his name again? Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Well, this is great. I'm happy to hear that. Fun game, good from start to finish. I definitely enjoyed it. I probably will go back and play some of those Hitman 1 stages, just because I know you loved some of those stages for sure. Now that I have a better grasp on it, I'll probably go back and play some of that.
I feel like I have to clarify something from last week too. If you do own the original Hitman from 2015 or 16, I can't remember which
16.
It is 16. You do get those for free, but the way you get them is you have to install that version of Hitman first, and then there's an update that you download, and then that patches those levels into Hitman 2 for you, the legacy stuff or whatever.
I think you just get all of Hitman 1 when you buy Hitman 2.
Right. Like I said, if you had Hitman 1...
No, I don't think you need to have had Hitman 1.
But I did. So if you have Hitman 1, it doesn't just give you those. You can buy a version of Hitman 2 without them, and then buy them after if you wanted to. I don't know why anybody would. Because
cheaper, I guess.
The legacy bundle's like $10 or something. So like, I think you save $10 if you don't. But I would just say you should just pay the normal price.
Actually, you know what? Here's a reason I could see someone not buying the first stages again. What if they wanted to switch consoles?
Consoles, sure, yeah,
yep,
very true. So, yes, there's weird options for it, but I think that's smart. For sure.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, it's a good chunk of content for sure.
Yep.
I also played the first Elusive Target. Sean Bean is out.
Okay.
He dropped Tuesday, I believe. And I don't know if I'm into Elusive Targets. It's kind of just a bit more stressful than I want to play Hitman. Like I said, I was save scumming my way through things. Sure. This one you cannot save scum. You kind of have to go with it. So they put you in the first stage of the racetrack. Sean Bean's there. They put me in tons of scenarios where I could kill him, but there were so many people around, and like getting to the point where I had like the right costume, I was like constantly alerting guards, and it was just like, oh crap. So it got to the point where I was like, this has gone so like south. Yeah. I just shot him in the head and ran away because I'm not gonna just take it as a loss. Because you can only play it like the one time. So I was like, all right, screw this. You're dead, and I'm running. Like it was just the most unclean kill I've had in the entire game.
At the end of the day, everybody just shoots and runs at some point, so you're fine.
I kind of wish they do give you a story mission to follow along things, but they literally just will say like, we'll get you in the room, and they get you in the room with him real quick. But there's like 6 other people there, and it's like, oh crap, and he's like always surrounded. So I guess it just takes like a better Hitman player than I currently am, or more thought that I wanted to put in there at the time.
I've seen some of that online multiplayer, and that community is gross. They're too good.
Oh yeah. I'm like almost worried because I have my friend, he's into Hitman, and I want to try it out with him, but I just know he's gonna be so much better than I am. And I also know I'm a terrible Hitman player who save scums my way through it, which I will not be able to do with this. So it's going to be me just like tripping over myself in front of guards while he's like getting all these like silent assassination kills, and just going to be like, why am I even doing this?
It's crazy. So. It's like they've played the game so much that they basically just like take a shot at the target or whatever, and then just somehow disappear into the shadows forever. It's like, what the fuck? How do you like not catch all these people's attention? They like find the moment where somebody's head turns and then shoot. And
to be fair, this is also a world where you can put on any costume and everyone's just like, oh yeah, you look totally normal. Like, I totally believe this. Like, it is a goofy world anyway. But yeah. So good game. I recommend it. It's a fun thing to check out
for sure.
I was also kind of glad that it can be a short game because I was able to just kind of blast through it because I have so many games to be playing. Um, such as I played a bunch of Jackbox 5.
Yeah.
I had some people over last week. Um, I am so happy that You Don't Know Jack is back.
Yep.
Like it was such a delight just hearing Cookie again and being like, yeah, this is where you belong. However, having played that and then playing Jackbox 1 just tonight, I think I might prefer the old Jackbox
Me
better
too.
because they had like wrong answers of the game
Yep.
and the screw attacks are better. I'm not a huge fan of the screw attacks in the new one. They're more inventive and like phone specific because everyone's using their phones now. Um, but there's stuff like they'll switch all the answers upside down or they'll take all the vowels out, and it's like this isn't difficult.
Yeah.
Um, Stuff like that. And then there's funny ones like they'll change your name, but that doesn't do anything. Like it adds a couple extra seconds on it, but there's no longer like a penalty for answering slowly and stuff like that. So I think I still prefer the older You Don't Know Jack's format, but it is still, the core of You Don't Know Jack is still there. Cookie is still funny. You're still getting goofy little intros to each stage. They got Dis or Dat. They got Jack Attack. There's stuff in there that you expect.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy to see, and it was really hitting some nostalgia strings for me getting to play that again. Honestly, it really just made me want to go back to that like 2011, 2012 ish.
Yeah.
That one on
around
like
there.
PS3 and 360
Yep.
that came up for like $20. Like that is such an awesome game.
Yep. It
And I
really,
just
really
wish that
was.
was backwards compatible because and I was explaining this to my friends who some of them had no knowledge of You Don't Know Jack because they only played Jackbox, and
Sure.
then a couple of them have heard about You Don't Know Jack. But I'm explaining like the 2011 or 2012 one or whatever it was. That one, like it had like continuity between the episodes. Like things would happen to like the number 4 for the round 4. Like I remember at one point the number 4 gets killed, and then he
Yeah.
like then they have like a funeral for the number 4 in like the next episode, and then it like comes back as a zombie. Like there are it's
Yeah.
such a fun, delightful thing. I wish that one was on backwards compatibility, or just like bring it back in some way. It's really quite great.
Yep.
Um,
It's really fun. Did you play any of the other ones? I really
yeah, I
like
did.
that
So I
path in
avoided the
general.
Angry Birds one. I had watched people play that, and that just seems like how did this make it into a Jackbox game?
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. It's like Fling, something like that, because you're like flinging your character. It's
No,
literally a mini game.
it's Zeeples or whatever, Zeeple Dome or something, isn't it?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I'm thinking. But you are flinging your character like it's
Yep.
Angry Birds style. But it's a mini game. Like
Yep.
it's an actual mini game. It's not a creative thing. It is such a non Jackbox thing.
It's
It's
weird.
weird.
Yep. It's
Um,
like a flash game.
yeah,
It's super
it is
odd.
super strange, and I just don't like it. Maybe and it's weird because if this like it makes me think like are they running out of ideas?
Yeah.
Which I don't think so because I don't. The other games aren't sequels, right? What else do they have in there? They have the robot rapping one, which is
Madverse City.
that one's fantastic.
Yeah,
That
it's
one is
like the
so
good new take on Mad Libs. Like it's real good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is very good. So that's 3 we've said so far.
Split the
Uh,
Room. I
Split
really
the Room is
like.
good. It's just Would You Rather, right?
Yeah.
That one's fine. I love the aesthetic with the cat in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's real
And
good.
what's the fifth
Oh,
one?
my favorite one, Patently Stupid.
That one is also
I
quite
love
good. It's
it.
like the drawing one.
Yeah.
I love getting to present and like
Yeah.
putting the how you want it to, like saying I want to have the name first, then I want to have the drawing, and here's the tagline, and like that one lends itself to so much good comic timing.
It's really good. Yep.
So Jackbox 5, it is a strong pack. I
Yeah,
love
it
all the
is.
games a lot, but I think it has the worst game in it, like yet. And I hate bracketeering, but at least bracketeering allows for some creativity.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Maybe it wasn't bracketeering, whatever the bracket one was called. But yeah, the Zeeple Dome is weird, and I don't know. But anyways,
It's bad.
strong. I
Yeah.
think it's better than 4. I was pretty
Oh, for
disappointed
sure.
with 4.
I refunded 4. I didn't like 4 at all.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. This I thought was an absolute blast. I love 5.
That's another interesting thing about the new You Don't Know Jack is they're not split up as episodes,
Yeah.
which I guess makes them. It does make it longer to play, but I never finished all the episodes anyway, so I wasn't like needing more.
Sure.
But that's how you miss out on things like the continuity and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
What else have I been playing? Reigns Game of Thrones. That's on sale right now. Picked it up. I've been picking up a ton of stuff on Black Friday.
Okay.
Um, um, Actually, let me just talk about this one deal I found this morning. I'm pretty sure it was a price error. I got Diablo 3 on Switch for $17.
Yeah, that seems like a price error.
Yeah, I'm starting to think because even when I walked in, because people were tweeting about it, and I was like, "That's a pretty good deal." I didn't really want Diablo 3, but like $17 is
Yeah.
really good. Um, went into the store. It was still marked as 60, and asked like, "Hey, can you scan this just to double check?" Came up as 17. I was like, "I'll buy it for that price for sure." In my mind, this is what I think happened. I think they were supposed to mark it down $17 off
Yeah.
because 43 is kind of a common price I've
Sure.
seen. Um, but they put 17 instead, so I'm happy to take advantage of that, and I got it right here. So that's another good deal. But yes,
Yeah.
anyways, the Bakesler in the chat says, yeah, I picked up the two Reigns games due to the sale. I believe one and Her Majesty are $1 right now, and
Ooh.
then Game of Thrones is $1 off, which
Okay.
makes it like it either makes it $3 or $4. I can't remember what it launched at. I can't recommend the Reigns games enough.
Yeah, they're
They're
good.
one of my favorite phone games. They're so well designed, expertly written. Um, I'm not a big Game of Thrones fan,
Me neither.
so I'm definitely missing out on some references. But I know enough through just osmosis that I'm still having a good time at this. So like a character will pop up and it's like, oh, I have heard of Jon Snow. I
Sure.
know he's special or something. Oh, I have heard of Daenerys. I know she's something with dragons. Like I know just the bare minimum,
Yep.
and that is good enough for me. Because I will say though, I think this game spoils some plot threads. It's hard for me to know exactly
I have
because
heard this. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's hard for me to know exactly because I don't follow the show, so I don't know if what they're saying is like a big surprise or it was a big reveal at one point. So if you're like halfway through the show, maybe don't play this game. That's probably what I would recommend.
Somebody said it spoils the last episode of the last season that aired so far. So, like, yeah, maybe
I don't know
beware.
what that. Maybe I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you.
I can't confirm either, but that's kind of funny.
If you're someone like me who doesn't care about Game of Thrones, you like the Reigns games.
Yeah.
This is an awesome Reigns game. They've added some new mechanics. Winter can come, which will change how you can like interact with people and stuff like that.
Sure.
You get to now choose who you start as the king or queen each time you die. There's 9 different characters as opposed to just starting as you are the new king, you are the new queen. It's, hey, do you want to start as Jon Snow being on the throne this time, or do you want to start as Tyrion being on the throne this time? And it doesn't actually change much at all. You'll get a few different like unique things, like some people aren't happy that you ended up on the throne. Doesn't really matter,
Right.
but that's just kind of fun because it does unlock a few little kind of special interactions when other characters that I guess have a relationship with the character show up.
Sure.
That's fun. It does a better job of kind of explaining what like the power ups and stuff will do, which I like for sure. I also really like it on my new iPhone XS because since that has the haptic feedback in it, I kind of get the rumble with the cards shuffling and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's just because I didn't get any of that before, but now when they like add new cards, it's like flick, 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 and I like that quite a bit. Bakesler also wants to mention that the 2 Monument Valley games are also $1 right now, and I would recommend both of those quite highly as well.
I think I'll pick those up because I do not have those.
Those are both really good games. Short, but like a quality time. And $1, right? Like it's $1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One for you, because I only saw the sale on Android. The latest The Room game, Old Sins, is $1.50 right now.
Oh,
on Android.
Okay.
So look into that.
I'm doing that right now, actually.
Yeah. Which that's the only one I haven't played yet. It's been on my phone for a bit. I definitely plan to pick that up. But yeah, so far, Reigns, Game of Thrones, I'm liking it quite a bit. It's more Reigns. So even if you're not interested in Game of Thrones, don't let that dissuade you. I think this is still a quality Reigns product.
Damn, the new one isn't on sale yet, though.
The new one, which?
The Room 3. Still
That's not the new one.
550. That's
The
still
new one is called
550.
okay, the new one is called The Old Sins. It's like the
Old
fourth one.
Sins. Okay, it's probably in here somewhere.
I can
Okay.
send you a link later because I have like a link of or a
Yeah,
website that's like collecting all the mobile deals. I'll shoot that to you later.
gotcha.
Okay, and last game. I can't talk about this one a ton just because I haven't played enough. But I've started Moonlighter on my Switch,
Okay.
and that game is so charming.
It
Like,
is. Yeah.
I love the way it looks. It's pixel art, which some people are tired of. Switch is almost like my pixel art platform at this point.
Yep.
Like I play so much pixel art stuff on there. The animation's super fluid. I love the music. Like I
Yep.
absolutely love the music. That is definitely doing so much for me. The dungeon music, the town, everything about it is just really great. I just love the whole atmosphere of the town, like when it's at night and like the lights are shining and people are just kind of hanging out. Uh, that game is Racketeer.
Yeah,
Like top
it
to
is.
bottom, that game is just like a new Racketeer.
Yep.
It almost seems like why didn't more people not mention Racketeer when Moonlighter first came out? Why wasn't I hearing Racketeer being said? Because it almost seems like a ripoff of Racketeer. It's like it's that game again, which
Yeah.
is fine for me. I'm a fan of Racketeer, so I'm definitely. And I was kind of reading some like because I was getting confused, like why weren't people talking about this? And I searched like Racketeer versus Moonlighter, and it seems like this is like an updated, like a better version of Racketeer. So that's cool. But yeah, so I haven't played a ton of Moonlighter, but I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Yep.
For those who don't know, Moonlighter, you play an item shop salesman who at night, or I guess you can go to the dungeons at any point during the day. They say at night you'll get different stuff, but you can go to these dungeons at night to fight monsters. It then turns into like a top-down, very Zelda-like
Yep.
combat system. But actually, no, it maybe closer to like a hyper light drifter kind of, because you got like the dive, the dodge. It's faster than a top down Zelda's combat, I would
Sure.
say.
Yeah.
So you're fighting monsters, you're breaking chests, you're getting like materials, and then you can come back to your shop and put them out on display for whatever price you want. And then when you open your shop, characters will come in and they'll emote at each item, and based on the emote, it'll get logged in your little guidebook, which I really love this feature. You can basically find out, oh, at this price, they're angry. At this price, they're kind of just disappointed. At this price, they're happy. At this price, they're like super excited. And that kind of tells you, oh, this is way too much. This is a little pricey. You figured out the exact price. Oh, it's really cheap right now.
Yeah.
And it logs that all for you. You don't need to like note it down yourself and like keep a notebook. So that's really fluid, and I love that part.
Yep.
And then the characters are telling you the market will change. You'll need to like change prices based on like want and need of a product. So I haven't gotten into any of that so far. One thing that I haven't figured out yet, and maybe you can answer it for me. What is the point of sleeping? Because you can go to sleep. And why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just like go back into the dungeon?
I think that just passes time, right? In case you wanted to like keep selling or something. I don't know.
So it's just a way to like speed up the night's cycle instead of just waiting it out.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense then. Sure. And even actually one more relation to Racketeer. Racketeer is the name of the item shop you own in Racketeer. Moonlighter is the name of the item shop you own in Moonlighter. So this is Racketeer 2, basically.
Oh, they know for sure. Yeah.
They must. Like it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I've really been playing. So if that's all you've been playing, why don't we go on to some news?
Sure. So I'll start this one off. The Steam Award nominations are live. What this basically means is that if you have a Steam account, you can go ahead to store.steampower.com or on your like Steam launcher or whatever, go to their store, click on the Steam Awards thing, or go /Steam Award nominations if you're on a browser. And there's 8 categories that you can go ahead and choose just what you have in your Steam library for that you want to get some recognition in the awards or whatever, because that's how Steam does things. They don't do a per year basis. They're just like every year, just like tell us what you played this year, basically.
Like, what's the popular game of this year?
That like
what's the popular
offer.
VR game of this year?
Yeah. So
right.
Their categories are Game of the Year, VR Game of the Year, the Labor of Love Award, which is, it's been out for a while, but it gets updated regularly, and they keep like putting stuff into it.
Okay, hang on. Let's take a step back. This is totally going to be shot in the dark. Why don't we just make a guess for each one?
Oh my god!
Right.
So you can't. So it's so hard because it's
no,
not
no. That's
per
why
year.
it's like this is totally shot in the dark. Okay, what do you think the Steam Game of the Year is? Is Red Dead on Steam?
It's not. Neither is Spider-Man or God of War.
I don't think it matters. It's Dota 2, right?
It's probably like Counter-Strike.
You're gonna go Counter-Strike? Okay, I'll go Dota 2.
Okay, hold up.
VR Game of the Year is what's the lightsaber one? Beat Saber.
I mean, that's what I put even because it's the only name I recognize out of like
that's a Steam one, right?
Yeah.
Although I think Moss is on PC now. I don't know if it's on Steam, but I understand Moss is on there. So there's another Steam one.
Yeah.
Or there's another PC one, I should say. Okay, Labor of Love. What is this one again?
This one is, it's been out for a while, and this is a game that developers keep putting stuff out on, or like updating.
This is so weird because, again, yeah, it has to be a Steam game. Because I would have said like Overwatch. Oh, that's not on Steam.
That's not on Steam, yep.
So it's like, this is such like a weird, it's like you can only pick Steam games, and it's like, well, I guess it is a Steam. It's just weird to think of like, I'm going to ignore all these like major games.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your Labor of Love award? Who do you give it to?
Me? I give it to Siege.
I'll give it to Dota 2.
Yeah, it's probably Dota 2 because they had that big patch that just came out on like Tuesday or Monday. So
Best Developer Award, whether it was by listening to the fans, creating something genuinely unexpected, or just delivering on the promise of a truly great game, this studio absolutely crushed it in 2018. This is a weird category.
This one's hard. This was very hard.
Because you would want to think maybe like it's a studio that puts out lots of games, but it could also just be like, what's the most popular game? Oh, it's that studio too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
I kind of wish I could see like the past years who has won the Best Developer Award. I actually have no idea. Ubisoft is probably a good one because they put out a ton.
Sure.
So
the one I chose for myself was IO Interactive because I really like the Hitman games. I really like what they did about incorporating the first stuff into Hitman 2 for free, and I just thought that was very cool.
Here's why I don't think I would win. I feel like nobody is playing Hitman 2.
I don't care if it wins. I'm telling you my picks.
No, that for sure. I'm just vocalizing this other thing I've noticed when looking up information on Hitman 2, like about how to get a specific achievement. I feel like nobody is playing Hitman 2, and it has me worried that they are not going to be able to make a Hitman 3 because they were barely able to make a Hitman 2.
Totally. That's why I thought it was like big of them to include the first game. Basically, it's just like, you guys are not popular as it is. You could have charged for this possibly.
They were probably like looking at what they were doing, and they were like, how do we, our back is against the wall, how do we make this more enticing? We'll give you our last game for free, please buy this second one, we need this to sell.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it is very sad.
Stuff of Sunny in the chat says, I nominated the guy who made Stardew. That's a fucking real good choice.
That's true, because that one, it got a multiplayer this year, didn't it? And a number of updates.
Yeah. That
How about the Undertale guy? Because that got not on Steam, but it did get another game.
Well, yeah, I don't think he'll get it, but yeah, I could see somebody choosing him.
The Stardew one is a good one. That's a good one. Okay, Best Environment.
This one's hard because this is just anything that's on Steam, right? Best Environment. Like, what game has the best environments? I tried to keep all of these to be 2018 for myself. That was my challenge to me, because
sure, I would be surprised if like any of these games are 2018 games.
I don't think I think the only ones that can be or should be are Game of the Year and VR Game of the Year, but I don't think they will be either necessarily. I put Shadow of the Tomb Raider because I've been picking away at that still, and that game is all environment. It's fucking
Okay.
beautiful.
Okay. Um, there's no way this will win it, but the one that popped into my head is I played through the Division 1 this year, and I thought that game was gorgeous.
Okay. It is.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
In like the wrong way.
I'm just talking about the
Yeah.
environments. Like I thought it
Sure.
looked so nice, and I was playing on an Xbox One S. Yeah, that was a good looking game.
The Better with Friends award. So this is an award that has always been my favorite that I don't think gets enough talk in any Game of the Year stuff. This is just the like, this game might be dog shit, but when you're playing it with people, it's just great. Like, it's fucking fantastic.
Wait, is this supposed to be like best multiplayer game, or is it actually supposed to be like there is a significant change when you add other friends, or does it not even matter and it's probably just going to end up being what's the best multiplayer game?
It's probably going to be just what's the best multiplayer game. I would like to think that it is actually just a better game with friends and almost unplayable single player.
Because that's kind of an interesting category. I just can't see them putting that like. No, it's also a very kind of a specific category. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. I chose Vermintide too, because I hate playing that solo, but I love playing
that would be great. So that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't even think you can play Jackbox by yourself. Now that I think about it, I think it's all 2 and up. Although
that's a good point.
Jackbox 1, you can play You Don't Know Jack by yourself with that one. So there's that. I don't know. Better. I mean, it's probably going to just be like Dota 2 again, right?
Probably. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. There's my answer.
Yeah, probably. Best alternate history. I couldn't think of something for this one for me, so I put Yakuza 0.
I don't know what this is. Okay. Those who cannot remember the past are doomed to repeat it. Those who remember it just fine, but prefer to reinvent it, are doomed to get this award for 2018's most entertaining tinkering with the history books. So is this supposed to be like a remaster?
This is usually the Wolfenstein Award. Basically.
Okay. So that with that it makes me think not a remaster, like almost a reboot. Which I guess makes sense. That would be, tinkering with the history books. So kind of best reboot. Mm-hmm. What did you give it to? Did you say?
I just gave it to Yakuza 0.
Oh right, Yakuza 0. Okay. Yeah. That's a good one. I can't see Wolfenstein like getting it again.
No.
If it did get it last year, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I have no idea.
Right? This is an actual hard one.
Best reboot. See, and most of the things that are coming to mind are all remasters, like the Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, StarCraft. Those are all remasters, reboots. I guess I'll just go with Wolfenstein again. There's no way it gets it, but I can't think of anything else.
So they didn't actually have this one last year. I just picked up last year's winners and stuff, and this wasn't a category. This is a new one.
Interesting.
In which case, Wolfenstein might actually win it.
Well, yeah, it should deserve it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I agree. And then the most fun with a machine award, whether it's car, truck, robot, other mechanized contraption, the winner of this award fired on all cylinders, engineering an unforgettable gameplay experience made possible by machines.
I don't understand this category. For a second there, it made me think of like, wait, is this game of the year? But now it has to be very machine focused?
Yeah. I put Wreckfest because racing while damaging cars is fun.
Okay. Human Fall Flat.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one.
I don't know. This is a very odd category. I'm of two minds when I see categories like this. I like the uniqueness. That's fun. It's going to be different. But then they're going to put a game in there that is just like, okay, I mean, sure, whatever. Like, I don't care really about the answer because it seems like the category's like kind of shoddy at best.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You want?
I kind of wish there was like they had like 5 to pick from. Like they picked 5, so I could kind of like get in their
Well,
headspace a bit more with where they're going.
well, that's what, like, they're going to quell it down from all the responses, right? And then those are what we would vote on.
Right, but this one
Yeah.
inherently is going to be what
Weird.
the community is
Yeah.
interpreting it as. I kind of wish I could really understand how they interpret it as, and then I could be like, "Oh, yes, I see what you're trying to get at, and I think it's the second game or whatever." You know what I
So
mean?
when you actually do this, and I can't tell you now because I have mine in, it, like, when you're actually choosing a nomination, it actually says games that you own that are suitable for this nomination.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not going to hit the login button right now. I don't want to do all that,
No,
but
I wouldn't
that
bother.
is that's kind of cool. That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
And then if your game, that just gives you some ideas, and then from there you can just search and then put in whatever game you want that is on Steam. Essentially, you don't have to own
Sure.
the games.
Right. No,
So,
I think that's exactly how they should do it. That's cool.
yep. Do you want a quick rundown on the 2017 awards and winners, just because we're talking about it?
Yes, please.
Okay, the Choices Matter Award went to Witcher 3. The Mom's Spaghetti Award went to PUBG. The Labor of Love...
I don't remember what that means, but okay.
Yeah, me neither. And I don't
Although
actually...
I remember the name, like we definitely talked about this like a year ago.
Yeah. The Labor of Love Award went to Warframe. The Suspension of Disbelief Award went to Rocket League. The World is Grim Enough, Let's All Just Get Along Award went to Stardew Valley.
Okay.
The No Apologies Award went to The Witcher 1. The Defies Description Award went to Gary's Mod. The Cry Havoc and Let Slip the Dogs of War Award went to Just Cause 3. Makes sense. The Haunts My Dream Award went to Counter-Strike Go for some reason. The Soul of Vitruvius Award went to Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I have no idea what that means.
The Whoa Dude 2.0 award went to The Evil Within 2. And then Cuphead won both Best Soundtrack and Even Better Than I Expected award.
They didn't have a game of the year?
They did not, from what I can tell here.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of weird that this year they have a Game of the Year if they didn't last year. Weird.
Yeah, that is weird, but fun, so that's good.
Yep.
All right, next article here. The Steam links are being discontinued. I think they have come out and said they are not making any more of them.
Okay.
Let's see. The supply of physical Steam Links hardware devices is sold out in Europe and almost sold out in US. Moving forward, Valve intends to continue supporting the existing Steam Link hardware as well as distribution of the software versions of Steam Link, which I believe is just on Android, if I remember correctly.
Gotcha.
Because it wasn't able to get on iOS because they didn't want to like share a profit, right?
Right.
Available for many leading smartphones. I think because they didn't say iPhones there, that says everything. Tablets and televisions, and then you can find out more about it.
Sure.
I think it's pretty odd. I'm just reading this first response on this Reset Era post. Neat little box for what it can do. Hopefully they release a new version with 4K support. That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't think that's a
They
thing.
were selling these things for $2 plus shipping, and I still have yours and John's, and I will
Right.
bring it up this holiday.
Gotcha.
I would have brought it up the last time I came up, but that was a weird weekend where I had more stuff going on in my mind, so I totally forgot.
Yeah, sure.
But at the moment, I have 3 of those in my apartment. It's okay. It doesn't run great on wireless. The way I have it set up is I have the Steam Link wired, and my desktop is wireless. It doesn't run great, but it runs like good enough for slower games. Like Jackbox has been fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully with my new like gigabit route internet, that should run better. I haven't really tested it out though.
I really like that you
understand
have 3 of them, and you have less than $10 worth of hardware.
Yeah, exactly right. Although I'm pretty sure when I bought mine, it was $20
Oh man.
years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Sure.
I understand if you run them both wired, it runs really well. So it's a cool device. I'm surprised they never picked up, but pour one out for the Steam Link, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Devil May Cry sounds like it's getting a Netflix show, similar or in somehow connection with the people behind the Castlevania Netflix show.
Same producer, right? Let me quickly look this up here.
Yeah, so it says an animated series adaptation of Capcom's popular video game franchise Devil May Cry is in the works. The series will be developed by Castlevania executive producer Adi Shankar.
Right. Executive producer. Okay.
And then here's the really weird sentence. This is so Shankar in an exclusive interview with IGN's Jackie Jing also revealed that his Devil May Cry series will join Castlevania in what we're now calling the bootleg multiverse.
Okay.
Which I feel like there's two ways to read that. One, it's just a silly way of saying we're doing spin-offs with some of our stuff as TV shows.
Sure.
But I feel like in 2018 and ever since we've had Marvel Cinematic Universe, we've had stuff like that, using phrases like so close to like shared multiverse, shared universe.
Yeah.
It says something to the audience at this point. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like that is a loaded phrase now in 2018.
Yeah.
I do think those two series could definitely overlap in some capacity, like both thematically and tonally.
Mm-hmm.
I think those would go well together, and that Castlevania show is good.
Yep, it is.
Did you ever get around to watching season 2?
I have a few more episodes, but yes.
So that show, season 2, I thought was pretty slow for the most part.
Yeah.
Episode 7 is awesome.
Is it? Yeah.
Episode 7 is when everything happens, and it's like, this is cool. So episode 7, get excited about that.
Yeah, I like the build-up, actually. That was one of my biggest gripes with the first one, is because it was only 4 episodes. I didn't feel like they had enough of a build-up. Things just kind of started happening in the end of the second episode, and then the third and fourth, and then it's over. It's like, oh, well, now I want more, and now I'm getting more, and I'm pretty stoked.
Yep. Yeah. Also, Castlevania Season 2, funnier than you would expect. Like, there's some jokes in there that I would not have expected them to write. Like, Alucard and Trevor just, telling each other to eat shit and die, literally. There is some funny writing in that show. I like it. So,
yep.
I would be excited for a Devil May Cry series. What about you?
Sure. As long as it doesn't take away from, more Castlevania in any way, I guess. Make both of those at the same time, guys. Do it up. Yep.
All right, probably the biggest news from last week.
Yeah.
This is a rumor, but it's being, I guess the website is Thurrott. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, me neither.
From what I understand, this website gets a lot of very accurate rumors about Microsoft-related products.
Okay.
They have put out a statement saying that they believe in 2019 Microsoft is going to put out a diskless Xbox One S.
Why do I feel like we were talking about this? Like a streaming box version of a console?
Because we definitely were talking about streaming box stuff. Remember Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Yes.
Was being run in Chrome browsers. Developers are talking about streaming and whatsoever. Yeah. That's not what this is. They haven't said one way or other. Again, keep in mind this is a good degree of rumor and speculation, but an educated one. So this is not like a streaming box. It is just you can only use digital versions of games. And I say that because Microsoft will even be looking into, at participating retailers, you bringing in your disc copies of games and getting a digital version of it. Mm-hmm. Like some kind of trade system.
Sure.
A disc to digital program that turns your physical games into digital downloads. The idea is that you can take your disc to a participating retailer like the Microsoft Store and trade in your disc for a digital download. I'll just read this next chunk. The goal with this new console is to lower the price point for the hardware. Currently, it costs around $300 to buy into the Xbox One family of devices. Microsoft is looking to lower that price by possibly as much as $100 The new console price point is expected to be 200 or less. I don't
Interesting.
know much about hardware sales. I would not think a disk drive costs $100 to put into a console, but I am not the person to ask.
I mean, yeah, I put one in my computer for $5. Like, so,
Yeah.
but I'm sure it's a different architecture.
I would assume it would get smaller, which
Yeah.
that's always nice to have.
Yeah.
Quieter because it doesn't have to read a disk.
Yep.
Again, this is not an X version. This would be based off the S version. So they're really looking at like a kind of like a low version of this thing. I think I'm for it. I'm at a point where I don't buy a lot of disc versions of games anymore anyway. I love downloading for the most part. I would assume you're similar as someone who PC games a ton, primarily.
I would prefer a cheaper thing without a disk drive. Yes, that's the
Sure.
thing.
If you had the option of
yeah,
disk drive, like, okay, what about this? Okay, it's an Xbox One S. It's $300. What if it was only a $50 savings?
I mean, if I'm going to buy I'm just guessing I'm going to buy an Xbox. Yeah, I'd rather just save the $50 for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you're losing out on much.
Especially since,
honestly.
like, it looks like there's a USB drive there. I wonder, like, how long before somebody makes a hack where you could just have, like, an external drive hooked up into it if you really wanted one.
Because it's like an external disk drive, you mean?
Yeah, because, like, an Xbox is just a computer running its own OS, essentially. So I'm sure somebody would hack that, if not just plug and play work. So
maybe. I've had just, like, a pretty good time with being able to have all my games downloaded, like not having to carry discs around when I transport systems around is great. Sure. Having to, like, swap the disc when I want to play is so nice to just, like, go to my games tab, hit let's play this one. So I don't think it's a huge deal. What I think is super interesting is this whole disc to digital plan, because that's pretty crazy. We haven't seen anything similar to that. Right. In any media. I can't think of any media where you get to do that.
Right.
The closest I can think is, like, when you buy a music album, they'll give you a digital download of it, or when you buy a movie album, you'll get a digital download with it, stuff like that. Because we barely even have that with books, getting, like, a Kindle version with that.
Right.
This is pretty close to that. Like, I would think one day in the future, if you buy a disc, you're gonna get a digital version with it. People are not gonna want the disc.
Sure. This is the equivalent. I remember a long time ago, Will Smith of Tested.com, not the actor, ripped his entire DVD library onto a few big hard drives and made, like, a home server, basically, that he could always just access. This is the official version of that for games. So.
I think this is a cool move. I think it goes pretty hand in hand with Microsoft making some really interesting plays about going forward. It definitely gets me more interested in what the next Xbox would look like compared to what the next PlayStation would look like, because I just don't see Sony out there making these kind of, drastic changes and whatnot. Not that, I'm definitely interested in what the next PlayStation is. I'm just more interested because this Xbox has a lot going for it. Also in this report, they're mentioning that they are looking into a slim model, an Xbox One S Slim. I think the idea of them coming out with two kind of, I don't want to say budget, but, like, for lack of a better term, budget consoles in 1 year. Will just confuse, because at that point, if they come out with two new SKUs next year, we're looking at 4 different Xboxes on the marketplace. Not even including storage space, because you're going to have the regular S, the Slim S. Maybe the Slim S would replace the regular S. This weird diskless one, and then the X. That's a lot. But I'm definitely interested. I could even see myself trading in some disc games just to get the digital one. That would be kind of cool. Then I don't have to worry about it. Now that I have the 1 terabyte hard drive, installing games on there is not an issue.
I do wish John was here for this discussion, because I think he would be the opposing side.
Oh, he definitely is. He wants physical games forever. And that's sure. I mean,
I'd like to
I
hear
think sooner or
his
later
side.
he's not going to be able to, and it's going because these things are just going to get closer and closer to a computer.
I think if there's physical media in the future, it has to be multiple thing. It has to be like a flash drive with like 100 games on it, like actual games that I've bought or something. Like I'd take like my flash drive or like my chip for my PlayStation into the store. I say I want to buy this game. I give them money, and then they like install it on it, and then give it back to me or something. Like, I can't.
Yes,
I can't see.
I don't know.
Just,
They don't do that for PC games.
No, it's all just digital.
Yeah. So like, why like the PC was enough to be like, no, we're okay. We're not worrying about whether or not you have good enough internet. We're just going to assume you do, and you guys got to figure it out. It's only the console makers that are like, we got to keep discs around, used games, even though used games don't help the console makers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird, interesting stuff.
It is weird.
And last little bit, there's a series of Switch games that are getting cross-platform with PC and Xbox One. 3 specifically, including Paladin, Smite, and Realm Royale.
Sure, the high-res games.
Yeah, this mostly just caught my eye because I remember when I played Paladins earlier this year, I was like, why can't I play this with my Xbox account? I don't want to start 2 separate accounts. So I'm glad that this is happening.
For sure.
No PlayStation. Which how is PlayStation still holding out?
Yeah, it's weird.
Like I feel like that wall has been knocked down and they're still making it seem like that wall is still there. It's like, what are you doing? I don't know. All right. That is going to do it for the news. Let's move on to some questions. People want to send questions in. It is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Facebook group, the Discord channel, and John's P.O. Box. I'll read this first one from, I'm going to pronounce this as Micaiah.
Yep.
Question 1. Marry, bang, kill, Nintendo, Sony, Xbox.
Oh, okay. This is a serious question. Marry Nintendo, bang Sony, kill Xbox.
This is hard. I was going to say marry Sony and then bang Xbox, but I don't want to kill Nintendo.
Right.
Who did you marry again?
I think you got to marry Nintendo because if they have enough money to throw at the wall to try different gimmicky stuff, you know you're set for life. You're going to be taken care of.
But here's my thinking about it is I feel like out of all 3 of these, Sony is just like the most like consistent and reliable.
Yeah, but I don't trust Sony because they don't let me see my friends.
That's true. They're like a needy ball and chain.
And man, Sony games, you look good, but damn, do you lack substance after I'm done with you?
Which one did you decide to kill?
Xbox. I have a PC. I don't need Xbox.
At the moment, I think I would change that. I guess I would marry Nintendo, bang Xbox, and kill Sony.
Okay, fair enough.
Question 2. Sean works at GameSpot now, which is cool since I was a pretty active member there back at the beginning of this decade. Were any of you guys members there then by chance?
Yes.
I was a member. I wasn't really active on the forums. I've never really been active on kind of any forums. I'm more just kind of would read them, but as like a participant, not so much.
Wait, the beginning of the decade. So...
Yeah, he was saying, like, were you, like, actively going to GameSpot much, participating in the community there?
I mean, probably not in the last 10 years, no. I wouldn't say that.
I know, I could say Nathan was a big GameSpot community person back in the day.
Yeah. I hung around GameSpot more before the Gerstmann Gate garbage, and then the Giant Bomb.
I definitely kind of moved, exactly. I moved over to Giant Bomb. I just kind of followed Gerstmann for the most part.
Yeah.
And third question related to the above. We all know about John and Something Awful, but were there any other forums you guys used to frequent back in the day?
Yes. There's one that was, oh my god, it was a small community called Frag Blast, I think. And I was also part of Super Talks, the community that I won't discuss on the podcast, a long time ago. It had nothing to do with like gaming or anything. It was a forum part of a site that I don't want people to know about because it's a disgusting site.
All right. I just kind of said this. I was never really a big forum guy. I enjoyed kind of just reading them, but as I didn't really participate much, so just kind of a lurker on GameSpot, and then I moved to Giant Bomb, and then there was also NeoGAF, just kind of lurking around there, and then I guess kind of same capacity with Reset Era, since it's basically just the NeoGAF moved over.
For anybody wondering, one of the forum I was talking about was called theforum.com, so if you know what that is, you know enough. Then we can move on from there.
I don't know, but okay.
Yeah, that's fair. I can tell you off air if you want to know. Jason writes in and said, if you had to erase one major console, one major console, okay. So Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, their first-party games, and their impact on gaming, which one? Inversely, if you had to let an old company that previously fell relevant stay relevant, which one?
I don't think he's saying like the NES. I think he's saying like one of the major three and all of their consoles.
Sure.
And there's no way you can do this to Nintendo.
No.
Yeah, I think that's just like, I don't think you ask anyone this question, I don't think anyone would say Nintendo.
No, because even when Nintendo puts out a bunch of shit I hate, they're still doing something interesting. So there's
But no also reason. Like I feel like if you take away Nintendo, these other like platforms are going to get like majorly changed in some way. Like Nintendo was kind of there first, and they made such a big impact on everyone. Like there's a reason you hear so many developers being like, yo, I just put out my first game and it's on a Nintendo platform, and that means a lot to me.
Sure. I mean, if we're just talking consoles, I've never cared that much about Xbox at all, so I easily get rid of Microsoft, but they do Windows, which is what I use to run my PC, so there's a weird thing going on here.
It is weird, yep. I would say if I'm looking at impact on gaming, I think Microsoft has had the least. And probably. So I would get rid of that.
Yeah.
If you ask me like in this last year, I would actually I don't know, in this last year Sony put out some pretty good stuff too.
Yeah.
Because I use my Xbox more than my PlayStation, but I feel like Nintendo and Sony are more key to the industry.
Sure. And inversely, if you had to let an old company that previously fell relevant stay relevant, which one? I want Sega back, man. I was a Sega kid growing up.
I was just going to say, what are our options besides Sega?
Atari.
Who's picking that?
Like, hopefully nobody. Who else was big? Like, I don't think Panasonic should come back. I think their 3DO can stay where it belongs in the garbage.
I feel like all these console manufacturers, it was so early in video games. It's like I have no attachment to these whatsoever, except for Sega. Like they made it for a while,
yeah,
and then dropped off. So I feel like Sega's just like the easy answer here.
Yep. And as a Sega kid, it's my answer either way. So okay, I think that's it.
Nope. Jason has a second question.
Oh, I see. Okay. Sean mentioned he listened to my brother and me. I was wondering if he'd heard their special Thanksgiving podcast.
Yes, I listen to it each year. It's probably on my phone now that I think about it. For those who don't know, my brother and me, which is a comedy podcast, they put out a once a year episode for a podcast where they, along with the two guys from the Worst Idea of All Time podcast, watch and review Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
I didn't even realize there was a second one of those.
Yes, wow. There is.
Great.
So every year, those five guys watch that show, and they put out one episode where they talk about this movie again. And as the concept of this show is that this show will happen every year, and once one of them dies, they have to replace that person with someone else, and this show will go on for all of time. And that's the idea behind it.
This looks terrible. I'm looking at screen caps.
You're talking about the movie, right?
Yes.
Oh, of course. I mean, It's Paul Blart. Kevin James is in it.
He is. You're right.
Yep. VGC Kenny writes, recently I beat Spider-Man for the PS4. It was a good game, but I have one question about a gameplay mechanic. The game puts a lot of emphasis on using gadgets to take down enemies. Despite this, I barely used them and stuck with the traditional web shooter most of the time. The same thing happens in Kingdom Hearts, Birth by Sleep, where I don't use the D-Link system, despite the push by the game to do so. Does ignoring a core part of the gameplay mean that the game is bad or poorly designed?
No, it means it's well designed because it gave you options.
I agree with you. I think it's the opposite. I think it's well designed because you can play it how you wanted to, and it didn't like hamper you.
Yeah, if it forced you to use those gadgets, then it would have been bad design because they were too focused on trying to make you do this thing. But the fact that you could beat the game the way you want means it's actually a very good design, well-designed game.
I think he did miss out on not using the gadgets in Spider-Man because some of those are really great. But that's just me.
And kind of they just make it easier. Like some of them
yeah, but there's like fun ones
easier.
Like the wind one where it just like lifts people up. That's ridiculous. Or like the web bomb. Like a lot of those are really fun to use.
Yeah.
I have another question. Recently I got the Spyro Reignited trilogy. My roommate said that the ultimate reward should be a surprise remake of the fourth game, the notoriously bad Enter the Dragonfly, but make it good. This got me thinking, what games would you want to see be remade as good games?
All the bad games.
All the bad. It's an easy answer.
Yeah. Remade as good games.
I guess the only way this would happen is it would have to be part of a series that there's a fan base for. Because if you remake a game that no one cares about, that's just a waste of money.
Sure.
And it's probably just going to be you're just like tweaking some things. Like I think of Ocarina of Time got remade and they fixed like the water dungeon, or Wind Waker got remade and they fixed like some of the sailing and the quest searching near the end. So maybe we'll kind of narrow this down by, is there a way you think a game should be remade with a minor tweak? One that comes to mind for myself briefly, of course, is Burnout Paradise. I know it did just get a remaster, but this remaster definitely felt like this is an old game. Games have kind of changed, at least racing games have changed and added things since Burnout Paradise, like a waypoint system,
sure,
stuff like that, fast travel. Like it was missing things that a lot of current days racing games have. So there's one thing.
I don't want to know what I would do for the promise of a remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 with the original soundtrack and all the like things that they learned from doing that series and Underground into a new game.
So wait, do you just want all of like the new mechanics, just the old levels basically with the soundtrack?
And like updated graphics and all that sort of thing, yeah.
I wonder if that would like break some of those old levels, because like being able to get off your board.
Maybe. They were probably bad levels, frankly, but yeah, maybe.
I don't know about that, man. Like I have some real fond memories of that first Tony Hawk game.
Yeah.
School.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
Second level.
Yep, exactly.
Mall was bad, though. I really didn't like Mall.
Sure. I was never a huge fan of the like endpoint ones where you're going like you can't turn around. But there was that downhill one,
Downhill Jam or whatever.
Well, no, I was gonna say there was the one on the dam that spawned an entire game that was Downhill Jam.
That's right. Yeah.
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 You might. I don't know if you've watched any of the new series on Giant Bomb where they're playing through like all the Tony Hawk games and like games that are related to it.
No.
That might be up your alley.
I'm going to take this off for a second and say if there was a series I want to get the Spyro treatment where they just put those games out again, like new, man, where's my Gex? Where's my Enter the Gecko?
Is that what do people want that?
No, but I do. So
okay. I thought you were going to say the Tony Hawk games, and I was like, I could see Tony Hawk 1, 2, 3 remaster being a huge deal.
Well, yeah, they should just do that in general as well. I do know that those have like apparently just are a landmine field of fucking rights management and royalties and stuff that
Especially the songs.
yeah. So
Yep.
who knows?
Yep.
Rasterman7 rounds us out by saying, "Quick question burst." Okay. Okay, cool. Quick question burst. What's your take on music for studying, or rather doing an activity that requires a considerable amount of focus? Do you think it can be useful, counterproductive, or just depends? So using music as like for
Just kind of
studying?
just to kind of like block out sound and stuff.
I guess so, yeah.
Um, I used to do this with like electronic music.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm trying to think because last time I studied would have been like in college, and I think
Yep.
most of the time I would spend my studying. It was more I preferred like just absolute silence, so I would
Yeah.
go to like those specific floors of the library where it's like this is a very quiet zone, and I would work there. Those are kind of how I did it.
Sure. Uh
Um,
so for studying, I'm with you, but activity that requires amount of focus, like I've done computer work and like looking at just like fucking website code and just like a bunch of monotonous crap that is just the worst. And I usually put on like the Bastion soundtrack because I just
okay,
love having
sure.
that to kind of keep my spirits up with the
Okay,
monotony.
yep,
Or like data entry jobs and stuff like that. I'll listen to some like something to keep my energy going a little bit.
right. I guess it depends how much focus is required because I definitely have podcasts on a lot of in the background when I'm working. Um, but if I'm ever having like writing something or needing to read stuff, I usually don't have like anything on for the most part. Actually, I can have music on, and that's fine. I can't do podcasts if I need to like if I'm like writing like a review or whatever. So I'm
Sure.
just gonna miss out on one of the two things, and it's not gonna work very well.
I remember anytime I've done a review, I would listen to the music from that game while doing the review to kind of get in a
Interesting.
headspace.
Okay.
You've done a lot of video editing. Do you not
Yep.
usually just put something like I couldn't listen to a podcast while doing video editing? That seems like a way to go mad.
It depends what specifically I'm doing with the video because
I
obviously
guess.
video editing comes with audio editing, and I can't have those going on at the same time.
Right.
But if it's just stuff where I'm like, let's say, like lining up shots or lining up text treatments and stuff like that,
Sure.
I can definitely have a podcast on for that thing. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff with video editing and parts I can do with sound, parts I
Sure.
need to be quiet because I need to listen to the assets or whatever.
Sure. Okay. Have you used it before? How much did it influence the result? Do you have any recommendations? Okay. So we answered that first part. I guess this was all part of that same question. Recommendations. I recommend the Bastion soundtrack. It's so good for background music.
Yeah, I don't really have like a go-to background music thing for the most part. It's just whatever I'm listening to these days. I'll just want to listen to that. Um,
Sure.
I said it earlier though, the Moonlighter soundtrack is real good. I'm sure that would probably be a good background soundtrack.
Yeah. I really like the Mega Man X soundtrack done in like the rock format for OC Remix. I can't remember who put that album out. Like, I think it's an OC Remix album. It's really good.
Oh, I just see that John's in the chat. Uh, he says no one has the game rights to Tony Hawk right now. I believe Activision lost the rights as they were releasing Tony Hawk 5. That's why the game was such a rushed mess.
Mm.
All right, how's it going, John? You should be on the show. We miss you.
Bonus. Oh wait, there's more here. Personally, I find useful in situations my head's about to explode. Depending on the case, I put on lo-fi hip-hop, cafe, jazz, or vaporware. Yep, okay. Bonus, one of those lists is video game music for studying. Have you ever tried putting the OST or part of it as background music while working on the sort? If so, do you have a preference or just pick whatever goes? I feel like I answered that for you already for
I
video
feel like
game
that.
music.
Yeah, we kind of just answered that.
Yeah.
Lo-fi beats that you can chill out and study to. Isn't that the new hip thing on YouTube?
That is a channel I see streaming all the time, not just
All the
one,
time.
but like a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Uh, Okay, that'll do it for questions this week. If you want to send in questions for next week, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Facebook group, the Discord channel, and John's P.O. Box are all the ways to do it. What is your game of the week?
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Hey, John, you're in the chat. What's your game of the week? My game of the week is going to go to...
You have a few to pick from, and they're all quite good.
So. They're all quite good. I'll give it to Hitman 2, which I may have given that last week. I don't remember. Housekeeping. After this, I was going to put up the poll, but I'm very tired. So I'm going to go to bed and put up the poll tomorrow for the Patreon. So you can please come and vote on what you would like us to play through next month. If you are a $10 backer, you have until tomorrow morning-ish to submit what game you want on the poll. John says his game of the week is Tetris Effect. Good to know. I think that's it. And next week should be our Quiet Man episode of TDP Plus afterwards. So get excited for that. I know I'm excited to talk about that game. I've been dying to talk about that game.
Yeah.
All right, but that'll do it. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.